What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are back in Forza Horizon 2. Don't hit me, Escalade. Thank you very much. We are back in Forza Horizon 2, taking a look at my version of the Dodge Charger Hellcat. Now, the Charger Hellcat obviously goes hand in hand with the Challenger Hellcat, and if you've been on the internet for the past year or so, then at least in the car community, then you know a fair bit about the Hellcat. Now, just a brief rundown if you don't, maybe you've lived under a rock or in a cave or something, then these things are basically 707 horsepower supercharged beasts that come straight from the factory with a warranty, with this much power, and can basically blow the rear tires off in first, second, third, maybe even a little bit in fourth, I'm not too sure. But what I've done is I've taken the Fast and Furious Edition Dodge Charger in Forza Horizon 2, and I have modified it as closely as I can to the Charger Hellcat. Now, what I've done is I've given it 708 horsepower from a twin-screw supercharger. Now, before you go all crazy about how this is 708 and the actual car is 707, first of all, it's 1 horsepower. 1 horsepower difference. And secondly, I got it to 708, and I realized that 708 was probably as close as I was going to get, and I really didn't figure any way to get it back to 707. Also, this is just about as close to the performance that you would get out of an actual Hellcat in Horizon 2, because of the fact that I've also copied all of the gearing off of the actual Hellcat and put it onto this car. And I'll go ahead and show you guys that real quick. In the tuning section, all of this gearing was copied straight off the Hellcat's actual gearing. I went through all of the actual gear ratios from the Hellcat, the final drive, everything from 1st to 8th gear, and basically put it all on this car, and it works really well. It actually feels surprisingly stock-ish. It feels, obviously it's fast, but it doesn't feel like all over the place, and you also get that signature supercharger whine. Listen to this. Sounds absolutely ridiculous. Now, a plus to this is that with the Fast and Furious Edition, you can actually use the new body style Charger, which is obviously what the Hellcat platform is based off of. Now, I got the design, the livery off of the storefront, and I mean, yeah, sure, the Hellcat logo may be a little bit big, but that's really nitpicking, and honestly, I really like the way it looks. I feel like that logo, that logo could be a little bit exaggerated, and that's fine. I'm totally cool with that. And since it is the Fast and Furious Edition, you're still going to have, like, the Charger RT badging on there. You can see the guy that actually made this design put an SRT logo under the RT logo, so it's a little bit odd, but it's not the actual Hellcat, sure, but again, it's really, really close. It's about as close as you're gonna get without getting the actual Hellcat as DLC, which I really hope they eventually bring that in, especially the Charger Hellcat. That's my favorite version out of the Charger and the Challenger. I love the Charger Hellcat. I mean, obviously they're both ridiculously awesome cars, especially the Challenger because you can get it in a stick, but even though you can get the Challenger in a stick, I still like the Charger Hellcat just a little bit better, just because of the fact that you've got 4 doors, 707 horsepower, and it's just absolutely bonkers, an absolutely bonkers crazy American muscle car. It's absolutely ridiculous, and the fact that we have these cars in this day and age is awesome. Just to think about the fact that we have these today is just really a testament to everything you can do with modern engineering to actually keep this stuff within modern regulations, yet have 707 horsepower off the dealer lot. It's phenomenal. It really, really is. Now, the plus side to this setup is that it can drift really, really well. You can pretty much take this and drift it everywhere, especially, you just turn the traction control off, and you are entirely good to go. The only other thing I did that is just my personal thing, it's not stock, is I just basically put put the differential up to 100%, both XL and decel, just to make it a little bit more drifty, a little bit more straight axle-ish, just because I like to drift these cars a lot, and apparently I like to drift right into walls. But, I like to drift a lot of these builds, and, I mean, that's one of those things where you can just open up the tuning menu and change it whenever you want anyway, if you want a grip setup. So, if you're just about to do a road trip, or, like, an online road trip, or a race, or something like that, get into the setup, change it up a little bit, and you've got your grip setup, or at least as grippy as as any version of a supercharged Dodge Charger can be. And I just felt like it was more suited to general hooniganism and drifting, so that's basically why I left the setup that way. In the stock form, you're going to get up to some decent speeds. It's not going to be any kind of Veyron beating speeds, but you are going to go decently fast. Into 7th gear, we're touching 200. This is a little bit faster than the standard version. Obviously, it's going to be faster than the standard version just because there are a lot of variables that you can't copy over into Forza. We're already doing almost, we're doing 215 and 216, 217. The stock Hellcat will not do 217 miles an hour, I guarantee you that. But, again, this is about as close as you can get so far. This is as close as I've been able to get so far to replicating the standard Hellcat in Forza Horizon 2. Now, another cool thing about this thing is the sound when you're in the cockpit cam. Oh my god, it is ridiculous. I'll actually take you guys back through the tunnel after I get turned around real quick. And what I'll do is I'll do a couple of accelerations, a couple of pulls, and then I'll get inside the tunnel and floor it, and you guys will be... If you like Supercharger 1, you're going to love this car. You can hear it a little bit. I'll let you guys just hear that. Just sounds so evil, doesn't it? It sounds awesome. Alright, tunnel time. Boom! That is absolutely... Whoa! Wow, that came out of nowhere. Anyway, that is absolutely ridiculous. I absolutely love this thing. Such a phenomenal sound. It really, really is. And you know what? This test is not complete until we take it off-road. I don't know why I have this urge to take it off-road. Just kind of want to test it out and see how it does, even though this is not what I set it up for. And apparently it flips over. I don't know why I didn't see that coming. I want to take it down into the riverbed, though. Now, also, I left the standard wheels on this car, the ones that or at least the ones that the Fast and Furious edition comes with, because they look really nice. They're kind of similar to a certain set of HREs, but I feel like they look OEM-ish enough to leave them on this car, especially since I was doing somewhat of a replica build. And I mean, again, the wheels aren't perfectly accurate, and again, that's another thing that you could change if you want to do a perfectly accurate build. This, I had a couple of things that I left in there just kind of for my personal taste, but if you're doing this build, all you really have to do is copy the actual tune, because the tune is about as close as I can get to stock. That was my objective with the tune. The tune is, no matter what, as close to a stock Hellcat as I could get, or at least as close as I could get on the gearing. The rest of the tune, I mean, obviously, the differential setup, you can change that whenever you want. I have mine on a drift setup right now, so that's obviously far from stock. If you want to get into, like, suspension settings and tire pressures and things like that, what I did was I just lowered this car and I left the settings alone. I lowered this car and I left the stock settings on it, so it's pretty close. But the main thing, again, is the gearing, and if you want to copy the gearing, feel free to do that. If you want to also go with a certain set of wheels that make it look similar to the standard version, feel free to do that. But, again, this is pretty close. It's pretty close, guys, and I feel like it's about as close as it really needs to be. So it's about as close as it needs to be without being insanely close. Again, if you want to get insanely close, that's your choice, that's your deal. But I think I might actually bring this thing out online and just see if I can trick people into thinking it's an actual Hellcat, and just see if I can trick people into thinking that they've actually brought a Hellcat in the game. That would be hilarious if you could actually do that. That would be awesome. Just, I mean, obviously, let them know that it's not actually in the game, because they'll be searching the marketplace for hours. I know I would. If I saw this thing online and somebody said, yeah, there's a Hellcat in the game, I'd be searching the marketplace for hours looking for this thing. But either way, if you guys want to copy this setup, feel free to do that, because I think it's an awesome, really an awesome car to drive. It's a really fun setup, even though it feels sort of stock-ish. It's a nice addition to what this car comes with. So again, if you guys enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later.